Look at the camera so people can see you. It's going on live stream right now. And welcome back, everybody. This is Reverend Dr. Brad Miller from the To Be Encouraged podcast, coming to you live from the floor of the Indiana Conference of the United Methodist Church. It's our pleasure and a privilege to be with you as we talk to great lay folks and clergy who are here to pray it forward. No turning back at the conference here. And we have as our guest right now the special
Kristin Bisciglia.
And where are you from, Kristin?
Lafayette, Indiana.
And tell us about your church.
I am a member of Lafayette Grace United Methodist.
Awesome. Well, tell us one cool thing about your church.
It has been a part of our community for many years, and we're known for reaching out into our community.
Awesome. Well, that's one thing about your church. Now let's learn something about you. Tell us one thing, Kristin, one reason that you are personally a Christian.
Because without it, it's just too hard. There's too much turmoil and too much dissension and too much pain to be able to walk through life without having a basis and a grounding that can help us when things don't go right. Because it's not if, it's when.
Yeah, I love the way you put that. Without it, what are you going to do? Have something bigger than yourself to be grounded upon. And otherwise, we're kind of unmoored. We kind of just drift. And that's a great way to put it. I love the way you phrased that. Then you live out your faith in community. And one of the communities we live that, as you mentioned, is your church. And you mentioned some aspects about the outreach of your church. But tell me at least one reason why you are a United Methodist.
So at our church in Austin, when we lived in Texas, I grew up in the Methodist faith. My uncle is a retired United Methodist pastor. And I'm not sure I'd ever explored why I was a Methodist. And our church did a whole series on John Wesley's preachings. And in studying it, I realized that for me, personally, it made a lot of sense. It connects with me in the sense that do no harm, do all the good you can. It's very easy for me to wrap my head around it, and it's very accessible. It's something that I felt like I could preach. It follows right along with the gospel. We're supposed to reach out. We're supposed to preach. We're supposed to do good, and we're not to harm. Those things, that's easy. It's easily taught.
Yes.
I won't say it's always easy to follow and do every day.
Implementation piece is a little bit more difficult than the
because
stadium,
we're human.
which is understandable, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes. And for me, it clicked. That is who I am at my core. It's the way I was raised. It's the way that I believe. So deep down in me, I can't imagine being anything other than a United Methodist.
Yeah. So that's wonderful, and I love the way you phrase that, using, to do no harm and to stay in love with God and to do all the good that you can. Thank you for sharing that. And then one of the things that we like to share here is that the theme of this podcast is to be encouraged. So share with me and with our audience, if you will, just look right in that camera and share what is at least one thing you are encouraged by as we sit here today.
I'm encouraged by the number of young people that I'm seeing. My son came with me. We didn't know how that would work, being 15. And he has had emerging leaders connect with him. He's had the district youth group reach out to him. And I'm seeing my son grow right before my very eyes in faith. And it's such an amazing, encouraging group of people. I feel so blessed that we got to come.
And that's a special moment, having that your son here with you and being a delegate. And wonderful. Well, tell us one more time your name and where you're from and your church.
Kristin Bisciglia, Lafayette, Indiana, and Grace United Methodist Church.
And Kristin is our guest today on the To Be Encouraged podcast, coming to you live from the Indiana Conference of the United Methodist Church. Thank you, Kristin.
Thank you.